I haven't made a video in quite some time now, but I want to make this one. This is a video I've wanted to make for quite some time now, and only just now have I really wanted to make it. I'm just going to do it unscripted, just easy to make, easy to edit, that's all. But it'll still get the point across. I feel I can phrase my thoughts well enough to do it unscripted without a script. I chill out in the Bowser Discord a lot, and this is a big message that I really try to send, not just to new players but to everyone. It's a very important message. Taper your expectations. You know, I'm going to say something here. People might not like to hear it, but bit of a truth bomb. Bowser is bad. Now, I say that in a very sarcastic tone, but it seems like a lot of people, mostly new players, seem to be in complete denial of it, or they try to perform some mental gymnastics of, oh, Bowser, he can be pushed forward, he can be pushed forward and forward, he can be viable, or even he can win a major. And while optimism is great, you know, it is, I'm a historically negative person, but optimism is great. It's important not to get carried away with it. Me personally, when I started playing, I never went in with the expectations of, oh, I'm going to win a major or whatnot. I thought, okay, well, maybe I can push Bowser up the tier list just a little bit, maybe like a few characters. At the time, I thought that he was better than Pichu and Zelda. Might have been Roy or some Ness. No, not Roy, but someone. Better than two characters, one of them being Pichu, which is just totally wrong. Pichu isn't really even that terrible. But I never ended up doing that. My heart wasn't like shattered or anything because I didn't push him up the tier list. Because part of it was realizing that I just needed to taper my expectations. But when you crank it up to the extreme and you think things like, oh, I'm gonna win a major, Bowser can win a major, I'll make him viable, like maybe even mid-tier or something, then that starts to get a bit extreme, you know? I was prompted to make this video because I was just on the Bowser Discord, and there's this guy, fairly new guy, I think, and he said that every matchup is even because you have a 50-50 chance of winning. First of all, when you pick Bowser, the worst character in the game, you could maybe make a case for Kirby being worse, but just maybe you could, then of course it's not 50-50 anymore. The opponent is going to be playing a much better character. If they're not playing Bowser, then they are going to be playing a better character. Immediately, right from the get-go, it's not a 50-50 chance of winning. Just because there are two outcomes for a victor, you and the opponent, doesn't mean it's a 50-50 chance. I'm going to kind of return back to the original point I was making. Optimism is fantastic. It's great to have that, but it's best to have it in moderation. Because I see so many new Bowser players, or even, doesn't have to be Bowser specifically. It could be a different character, maybe even a high tier. They come in with these expectations that are, let's be real here, impossible to meet. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer by saying that. Frankly, I don't think I'm being a downer at all for saying that Bowser will never win a major. I feel that is just truth, you know, inscribed in a clay tablet. I'm going to return to another earlier point. I believe it's possible to inch Bowser up the tier list. Maybe. But there is improvement. There is wiggle room for him to get better. For instance, there are tiny little techniques that you can learn and perfect to help him win situations just a bit more often, but it would take just a god amongst men in order to utilize all of them and create a bunch more. It's just not feasible to bring him up to the level of other characters. I'm going to use a comparison here. I'm going to compare Bowser to Mojang. So Mojang, obviously they're most famous for creating Minecraft. Minecraft has a lot of historic balance issues. For instance, mending allows you to repair tools using experience. When you get experience, it sort of flows into the tool and repairs it. The reason mending was added is because the former way of repairing tools was terrible. It would be anvil repairing, which you would use an anvil, and you take the material. For instance, if you want to repair a diamond pickaxe, you would use a diamond, and you would use that. But the problem is that you couldn't do it forever. I won't get into the specifics of how, because that's not the point, but you couldn't do it forever. The tool was destined to break. And so instead of actually fix the issue, Mojang just added mending. Now the problem with that solution is that it does not address the underlying issue. The underlying issue is that the anvil repair system sucks and that you couldn't do it forever. But then rather than solve that issue, they just slap a band-aid on top. And that's what I want to compare, these tiny little Bowser techs to. Sure, they can make the character just a tiny bit better, but they don't solve any underlying issues. They don't solve that 8-frame jump squat. He's never going to be on the same level as like mid or, God forbid, high tiers. So anyways, I think I've gotten the point across now. If I were to talk anymore, I would just be repeating myself. So thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. So thanks. Bye.